I'm going to be sharing all the things I've learned from being natural and someone who's focused on length retention and hair growth, so keep watching. The first thing I'm going to say is that your natural hair hates being dry. It causes your hair to have excessive shedding, hair breakage, hair loss. These are the factors to having dry hair. So you need to make sure you have a good moisture routine and you are consistent. One way to find a good moisture routine is knowing your hair porosity. It's a simple test you can take. It helps you to know what products work for your hair and how to take care of your hair. So make sure your hair is never dry and be consistent with your routine. Over time, you know how you're supposed to do your routine and what comes next. So make sure that you are consistent and you have a good moisture routine. That's all. If you're stuck at a particular length for a long time, you're most likely doing something wrong. The problem is not your hair, it's you as a person. You're not doing the right thing. You need to check your manipulation and check for treatment. That's how to solve your problem, because at the end of the day, your hair is growing. Your problem is length retention, not hair growth, because normally your hair grows. It's just that you're manipulating your hair more than you are retaining length. So you need to make sure that you find a good protective hairstyle and also look into treatments that you can try to help strengthen your hair to reduce all those hair breakage and hair loss. You can work on that, and that's how you can see more length retention and also see the growth you're getting. To say it's a bit controversial, but your hair loves being in its natural state. Like, most people manipulate their hair doing silk press, twist out, braid out. Yes, all of that can be like the hairstyle you do, but try and reduce how frequently you do that, because at the end of the day, your hair still reverts back to its natural state, and it says something that your natural hair just wants to be in its natural state. So if you want to try hairstyles, I would say walk around your curl pattern. You see a type 3 hair doing certain hairstyles and you have a type 4 hair and you want to try it out, it won't look the same way. You won't get the results. And if you over manipulate your hair to look like a type 3 hair in that style, you're going to cause more damage to your hair. So try to do what your natural hair wants to do. Just let it do what it wants, because at the end of the day, it likes being in its natural state, so you can't beat that. So just try to love what type of curl pattern you have and find hairstyles that work well for your curl pattern. And one thing I would say is that follow natural hair influencers or natural hair, watch natural hair videos that cater for your type of hair, so that you know how well to take care of it. Because before, my curls weren't this defined. Like, I thought my curls weren't defined. I had this thick curly type 4 hair, but once I started taking care of my hair, I noticed that my curl pattern started coming up more. Like, my curls were looking nicer, they were more defined. So just follow people that have your type of hair, so that you would know what to do. And at the end of the day, your natural hair likes being in its natural state, so do not fight that, just walk around it. Hair treatment is important, especially for strengthening your hair. So when people say it's not, I would say hair treatment actually is very important, especially in reducing hair breakage, hair loss, and it just helps to strengthen your hair and also improves your hair growth. So one thing I would say is that if you want to look into hair treatment, or recommend doing a protein treatment, hot oil treatment, deep conditioning if you have high porosity hair, and also if you want to do some leave-in extreme moisture routine, I'll definitely recommend aloe vera. There are a lot of hair treatments out there you can try out, different herbs. I do fenugreek water to help to increase my hair growth, and I also do herbal oils where I use different herbs like moringa, fenugreek, cloves, rosemary. There are a lot of hair treatments out there, and one thing I would say is that it's a treatment. So if your hair doesn't need it, you don't necessarily have to do it, because you can also overdo all these treatments, especially protein treatment. If you overdo it, you notice that you see increasing hair loss and your hair will just look very dull. So these treatments cater to when you need them, so do not overdo it. But the only treatment that I do most of the times is deep conditioning, because at the end of the day I have high porosity hair, so my hair tends to lose moisture than it retains that moisture. So I like to deep condition because that added moisture to my hair. And for herbal oils, I use it every time. It's not something that can cause any form of damage to your hair. But one treatment that I would say would damage your hair if you overdo it is protein treatment. It's something that you need to do when your hair needs it. So that's why I say treatments are important, because at the end of the day your hair is growing, so you need to have treatments that help to boost hair growth and also strengthen your hair. Because one of the problems that we face as at having natural hair is having hair loss, breakage, because our hair strands are curly, so they tend to tangle and all of that. So that's why I always recommend you doing treatments to help to boost your hair strands and just strengthen your hair in general. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is your ends are literally the most important part of your hair, especially if you're focused on retaining length. Most people don't know this, but one of the reasons why you're not seeing a longer hair or you're not retaining length is because you're not taking care of your ends. Your ends are literally the oldest part of your hair, and you need to take and pay extra attention to it, because if they break off, you're going to get stagnant growth. You're not going to see length retention. So one thing I would say is, for taking care of your ends, make sure they are always moisturized, because you want to avoid split ends, because split ends are technically when your hair strands split up and they thin your hair, you see, you notice that your hair is thinning out, or you're just experiencing a lot of hair breakage, is because your ends are dead. And if your ends are dead, please trim them off. If you don't know how to do that, you can go to a natural hairstylist to help you trim that off. But once your ends are damaged, don't hold on to them, please. This is a mistake most people do. Don't hold on to dead ends, just trim them out. If they are past the stage of doing a treatment to revert it back, just trim them off. That's the best thing I can say. And to avoid that, just make sure your ends are always moisturized. Make sure you're consistent with your moisture routine. Make sure you're wearing your bonnet. Make sure you're tying your hair before you're sleeping. Make sure your ends are tucked in. Those are like the basic things I do to protect my ends, and I've seen so much length retention just by doing this. So focus on your ends. And one thing I would say is, focus on your ends and your scalp, because your scalp, you need to create a good environment for hair growth, because if you have build-ups, it will limit your hair growth. If you have dandruff, all of that, scalp health is very important, especially reducing excessive hair shedding. So focus on your ends, because they are the oldest and most important part of your hair. Then focus on your scalp, because you need to create a good environment for hair growth, and a healthy scalp creates healthy hair. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to say is, focus on your journey and don't compare with others, most especially when people have genetics working for them. So most of the times you see when people document their hair journey and they literally got to maybe shoulder length in a year, or their hair grew past a certain length over the year. It's a lot of hair growth, and you just probably retained like 3 to 4 inch. Don't compare your journey, because at the end of the day, people have genetics working for them, and you're literally improving and taking care of your hair, and you're seeing, it's not like you're not seeing growth, it's not like you're not retaining length, you're just comparing it to others. Focus on your own journey, because this is not something, if you compare your hair to others, you get frustrated why your hair isn't getting long, or your hair isn't growing as fast as other people. Just focus on your own journey. If people are getting an inch every month and you're getting half an inch every month, make sure you're taking care of that half an inch, because most people that have genetics working for them, they don't really take care of their hair. That's why you notice that their natural hair is always looking dull, it's not looking as their curls are not defined. They just have a thick full hair, but their natural hair isn't well taken care of. So make sure that you're taking care of your own hair, because no matter what, your hair is still growing, you're still retaining length, whether it's half an inch every month, whether it's an inch every month. Just take care of what you have and focus on your journey and enjoy the journey, because one day you're just going to realize, oh, my hair is at this length. Like for me, I was not focused on my length, I was just focused on being consistent, having a healthy hair, always being consistent with my routine, knowing when to do my routine. And it's my hairdresser that even said that, oh, your hair is longer. I didn't even notice my hair was longer. So just focus on your own journey, and trust me, you will definitely see changes. There's no way you won't see changes to your hair. There's no way you're not going to retain it. There's no way you will not get to your hair goal. So just focus on your own journey. Okay, this leads me to my next point. Focus on health over length. Over time, your hair would be grateful, and you notice the beauty of your natural hair more. That's why I said that you're taking care of your ends is very important, because if your ends start thinning out, your hair, your natural hair won't look good, because it's not even, it's not full. Because if your hair is thinning out, you notice your hair is not full, over the full length of your hair. Is not full, it's like thick at one point and thin at another point, and trust me, it doesn't look nice at all. So try and focus on health over length, because that's what we're aiming for. So if you have dead ends, trim it off. If your hair is not looking nice, take care of your hair. So just make sure that you're focused more on health. Make sure that your hair, you're sticking to your routine, and you're not holding on to dead ends, because at the end of the day, if you hold on to those dead ends, you're going to literally damage your hair. You notice more hair breakage, you notice more hair loss. So try and focus more on health over length. And when you see your hair, you know that your hair looks healthy. You see that your curls are looking better, your curls are defined, your hair looks just shiny, it's not dull. So just focus more on health. Like, this is something that I know people do not want to hear, but last year I had to cut off so much dead ends. Like, my ends were thinning out, and I knew if I held on to all those ends, if I literally held on to the length of my hair, I'm going to see more damage. So just cut it off. Your hair will grow back. It's just hair, guys. I know it can be so attached to it, but if I can cut off my dead ends, you can cut off your dead ends too. So just cut it off and start fresh. I'm not saying cut your hair, guys. Trim it off. And yeah, trim it off. Let me use trim, not cut. Just trim it off, and trust me, your hair will thank you. Okay, so the next point I'm going to say is that this happens to everyone. Like, it happens to me too. Sometimes you can get tired of your natural hair, and trust me, do not touch your natural hair when you're not in the mood. Try and find just make sure you have a good natural hairstylist that can take care of your hair when you're feeling down, or when you don't feel like doing your hair, but you know you have to do your hair. Because we always get that some days, like, you just don't want to do your hair, you just don't want to wash your hair, you just don't want to take down your hair. Just make sure you have a good hairstylist as a backup to help you with that load. For me, I've not found any hairstylist yet, because I'm not looking for one. If I'm not in the mood to take care of my hair, it has to wait another week. Honestly speaking, I've not found someone that can really take care of my hair the way I take care of my hair. But if you feel like that, and you have a natural hairstylist that is good with your type of hair and know your needs and your goals, trust me, it really helps. It helps to relieve that stress. Or because I know natural hair can seem like a lot, but it's not really a lot. But if you're not in the mood, you're not in the mood. Find a good hairstylist, or just hold off till when you need to do it. Because if you do your hair when you're in that mood, you're going to cause so much damage to your hair, which you do not want. So make sure you're always in the mood to do your hair, and not just doing your hair just because you want to get it over with. Trust me, you're going to be rough with your hair, and you're going to over manipulate your hair, cause a lot of breakage. So you do not want that. So make sure you always have his hairstylist at standby. Yeah. So we're finally at the last thing. This is not the last thing, but I'm going to put it in this video. Patience. I know we hear this a lot about patience, but trust me, your natural hair will reflect back what you do. So make sure that you're putting in what you want to see. If you're not being consistent, you're going to see the result of not being consistent. If you're consistent, you're going to see the result of being consistent. So when people are reaching their hair goals and you're complaining, think to yourself, were you actually consistent to meet that goal? I'm doing a hair challenge where I keep my protective hairstyles for 3 months. That also means that I'm still taking care of my hair. So if I don't moisturize my hair that week, and in the following week my hair is very dry, and when I take down my hair I'm seeing so much shedding or breakage, will I complain? No, because I know I wasn't consistent with my routine over that course of my protective hairstyle being 3 months. So make sure that you're putting in what you want to see. If you want to have a healthy hair, do everything that you can possibly do to get that healthy hair. If you want to see length, do everything you can possibly do to get the length you want. That's it. Like, natural hair is not difficult. You just have to do it. It's like skincare. When you're going to bed, you make sure you do your skincare routine. When you wake up, you do your skincare routine. You take your bath. The same thing with your hair. You don't have to do it every single day. You can do it once a week. You can do it twice in a week, depending on how your hair needs and all of that. So just make sure that you are consistent, and you'll be fine. I have so many other tips that I'm going to probably talk about in another video so that this video isn't long. So let me know what you think or what has helped you in your natural hair journey, or if anything I mentioned was helpful. Closely getting into the third, we're already in the third month. I don't know when this video is going up, but we're already in the third month. So don't forget to subscribe. I'm doing a challenge and I'll be starting a new challenge where I keep my protective hairstyles for 3 months. So just make sure you subscribe so that you get updated, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.